What are some key terms in occupational health and safety? Under UK law, businesses are expected to reduce the risk of accidents as far as reasonably practicable, but what does this mean? This means that we should take into account the cost, effort and convenience of all control measures to make sure we are using the most effective use of our resources while reducing risk. For example, using the hierarchy of control, we will consider the controls involved with road work, which carries many hazards due to traffic. Elimination. Our first consideration would be to eliminate the traffic hazard by blocking the road. This would reduce the traffic risk to its lowest level. But it may create a lot of inconvenience for drivers and maybe create more hazards as they have to find alternative routes. Substitution. We could substitute an alternative route by either building a temporary path or designing a path through other roads. This would be costly, of course, and it may create new hazards. Barriers. We could keep the road open but narrow the usable lanes and use barriers between traffic and the work crew. This would entail less expense but maybe more inconvenience in high traffic areas. It would also still allow quite a bit of risk. Safe System of Work, or SSW. We could provide signs, flaggers and other work controls to regulate traffic to slow it down and keep it away from workers. This would still entail some cost and inconvenience, and it would also still leave a substantial level of risk. Personal protective equipment, or PPE. We could give all workers high visibility vests so that drivers could see them clearly. This would be very cheap but would not significantly reduce risk by itself. So what should we do? It is clearly not enough to just use PPE ever. The level of risk is still far too high. In practice, a proper risk assessment should evaluate the controls needed according to the exact situation. If the roadwork is minimal, such as fixing a few potholes near the curb on a quiet street, PPE and SSW, such as flagmen, signs and temporarily blocking traffic, may be sufficient. But if the work is substantial, such as repaving large areas on a busy highway, then barriers and alternate routes may be required. What would you look for in planning a risk control model for roadwork? Follow us for further tips and for access to full, professional training in occupational health and safety. We have special prices for any students from Iraq.